Hello, everyone. Hello, everybody. Is Mike's Talks and Thoughts here with the Q&A 1,000 subscriber live stream here. Now, this is going to be archived here on the channel. In case you miss any of the questions here, feel free to ask any questions in the chat. I'm going to be going over some pre-asked questions here of around 20 questions that were asked either in the comment section of my videos or through some of my friends. I asked some of my friends as well to bring in some questions that they had for the live stream tonight. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So the first question that I have here from the Q&A live stream to start out here is, what have been some of the biggest challenges you have faced as a YouTuber so far? Oh wow. So there has been a decent amount of, challenges that a lot of YouTubers go through, with videos and production and all that stuff, but for me honestly, like, keeping it 100% here, YouTube has honestly been my biggest struggle here. Not being able to contact a support team has been difficult for me, as well as having copyright issues on videos that I've dealt with and have caused some stuff on my channel to be negatively affected here. So I would say that is easily the biggest issue that I face here, creating videos each week. But of course, there has been problems with video quality or sometimes an audio problem. But for the most part, that stuff is usually not the issue. Usually, like I said, YouTube is usually the issue itself. So the next question that I have here is, who would be your dream YouTuber to collaborate with and why? So, honestly, with this question, I really don't have a dream collaboration that I really want to do. Um, for certain types of videos, I would love to have some people on here. For example, if I was doing a Better Call Saul video, I would love to have someone like the Vivid Kiwi or Scott Newhouse. Those are my two favorite guys who talk about Better Call Saul here. That's like both their channels are exclusively Better Call Saul content. And there's more here, of course, movies. Sean Chandler or Cody Leach would be in that realm. But honestly, some of my favorite people to collaborate with is going to be Nick and Matt here. I've done collaborations before, mainly on Nick's channel. We have a ton over on his channel. On mine, we have just the one video here with the end of the year 2021 TV shows. So that was a fun video to do. And honestly, some of the best guys I can collaborate with because I can connect with them on a personal level here. But I would love to be open to more collaborations. I have reached out to some creators. None have reached back to me so far, but if you're interested in having a collaboration, definitely let me know, and I'm definitely open to it. The next question that I have here is, why do you think so many more people make content criticizing TV rather than praising it like you tend to do? So, my humble opinion on this is, I think a lot of people love criticizing TV just because it's, you know, sort of the cool thing to do, or it gets people clicking and gets views. When you're usually ranting or, not happy with something, people want to know why. And, a lot of people, just like I said, like the rant videos as a very popular subgenre here for TV or any sort of entertainment here. But for me, I've always been someone who likes talking about and praising the good rather than stepping on the bad. For you guys, I always want to recommend the best of the best because I feel like there's so much good out there. Why waste your time talking about something that's bad and put yourself through that? I'd rather you guys watch something great. That's why I try to recommend the best shows that I can for you guys and some of my favorites. I talk about a lot of them in every video here. I try and be as open as I can while also, like I said, not being able to criticize that much. That is not the thing that I like doing on my channel. I've done it before, but for the most part, I really like praising and giving you guys new ideas to where you guys can be happy and find something new that you really like. That's kind of my ultimate goal here on the channel is, give my thoughts. That was one of the main reasons I wanted to start this channel, was to give my thoughts on stuff and let my voice be heard, but I also want to help you guys out as well. So the next question that I have here is going to be, why do you think TV is struggling to keep its relevancy in the entertainment sector, with examples like broadcast TV ratings slipping each year and Netflix tanking hard recently? What would you suggest to reverse it? So I think for broadcast TV and for Netflix here, Netflix has been slipping a lot because of the crackdown that they've been having on people's accounts, and just not a lot going on. I'd say, like, Stranger Things is huge there, and Squid Game was something that helped it out a lot. But other than that, they really haven't had like a big show other than those two to really propel it forward and get the people watching. Like I said, Stranger Things season 4 came out, that definitely helped out Netflix a ton here. But it's just really difficult when they're losing so much of their library, and they're charging the fees are going up for it. So I think a lot of people have problems with that. And for broadcast TV, I think it's kind of the same issue. Just, they have good shows, but they need to have like that really big home run show that's really going to get people gravitating back towards broadcast TV. Cable, I think a lot of people are going away from cable now in the modern age and going into streaming services. It's just a lot cheaper to do that. I personally, myself, I have both. I have Hulu, and we also have cable TV here. So I'm able to watch on both. I personally like both, but I understand that people, they can't afford to have both. So I think that's another reason why broadcast TV is slipping here. And honestly, the best recommendation that I can give is just for these networks here, or streaming services, to offer the best content they can, come on with a new hit show, try and hit a home run, and use their potential here, like Netflix, to bring on more shows, bring back some of their stuff that was really popular and kept the site alive here. Like The Office and Friends was two of the biggest shows, and they lost both of those. And I think a lot of people left after that as well. That was another thing that caused Netflix's downward spiral here. So those are just some of my biggest recommendations here. Do you generally put more importance on what critics say about any given show, or what the general people say? So for this, I am definitely with the general people over the critics. One site that I'm not really too big on, especially for TV, is Rotten Tomatoes. If you don't know, the rating system is kind of wacky on there. Like the Rotten score, like it's basically based off of how many people say it's fresh compared to actually like doing the arithmetic mean for the average. So, for example, if one person rates it at 100%, and someone else rates it at 20%, it's still a 50%, instead of, and say it shows at 100%, someone else rates it 0. Definitely not a fan of Rotten Tomatoes for that reason. And then I really like using IMDb because, and personally for me, I don't think that critics hold any more important value over the general audience. That's what we are. We're the general audience is what kind of makes up everything, and I like supporting that more. That's why IMDb, they do ratings based on, you could be anyone and vote on the show, so they take into all that account. With that, you do have the possibility of, having bots or people coming in and tanking ratings, which is not a good thing. But for the most part, I think it's a pretty healthy system, in that the general public is able to all make their voice heard. I think that everyone should be on equal ground with their opinion here. We all have our agreements and disagreements with people's opinions, but no one's opinion is flat out just wrong here. It's an opinion. So uh, with that, I think that I agree more with the general people. The critics, like I said, a lot of them are really good, and they know what they're talking about, but I don't think that their value or their say should hold up so much more than, say, myself. Like, I'm not a critic, but I feel like my opinion should hold some similar to weight to what a critic thinks. So we all see stuff in different lights and all have different experiences with it. So that would be my suggestion, and kind of like what I think. So for the next question here that I got for the Q&A live stream, we have outside of YouTube, what are the best places online for TV discussion here? So for TV discussion, I definitely feel like the best place to go is Reddit here. Reddit is something that, has a ton of different, you can go into subreddits and it's such an interactive community. Another place that I found if you like specific niche communities is Discord. I had trouble finding like a broader Discord, but if you can find the appropriate smaller Discord here for like a certain show or a certain genre, I think that is definitely a good option. Also, I've heard that the Facebook groups, I'm not a part of any of those, but I've heard those are great as well for discussion here. And personally, for me, I think Reddit is the best. YouTube is always great, but you said outside of YouTube, what would you say? I'd say Reddit. Reddit, you can find a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of different topics, and is easily one of the best ways of interacting and talking with others. I got on Reddit because I felt that way because I love talking with my friends about it, but I wanted to reach out to more people and give my thoughts out. So that's kind of the reason why I did YouTube as well. So Reddit for me is definitely going to get the vote here. Next, here we're moving into the next question for the Q&A live stream. We have, what are your top three favorite new TV shows of 2022 so far? Mine would be The Bear, The Endgame, and American Song Contest. So yeah, for this question here, um, I know this was from Sean Chandler fan 1999, and for me, I only picked shows here that had a season or debuted in 2022, so not something that was later that I watched this year. So for me, including seasons here, the top three that I've seen is going to be Better Call Saul season 6, Stranger Things season 4, and Barry season 3. Here, those were my three favorite seasons from 2022 so far. I love each and every one of those. They were all elite or in the GOAT tier. I think that Better Call Saul season 6 is some of the best TV we've ever seen. Stranger Things season 4 was probably my favorite season, or at least in the top half for favorite seasons of Stranger Things, as well as Barry here being great through all three of its seasons. Actually watched all three, but season 3 premiered in 2022, and I thought it was an amazing season as well. And countering that, here you have what were your top three worst shows of 2022 so far? Bel Air is mine currently. Very disappointing given what it's based on. Yeah, off the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. For me, honestly, I've only actually seen when I was going through my list. I had only ever seen 6 shows here for 2022. So the ones that I guess have to be in the bottom half, even though I love all of these, would be uh, Wheel in the City, How I Met Your Father, and The Bear. I know you said you love The Bear, but that's probably the weakest show that I've seen so far for myself personally. I did like it, but it's got to be the weakest of the ones I've seen. But honestly, for that question, it's really tough because I have not seen enough to really see anything too bad yet. So yeah, those would be, I guess, my bottom three. But I love each and one of those shows. Well, I wouldn't say love, but I definitely respect and think that those are good shows. None of those were bad by any means. Do you have any examples of shows you think are overhated? Mine is Grey's Anatomy. It's still very good, but people always trash it for no reason. Yeah, so for me, I see a lot of hate online for a lot of different shows here. One that always comes to mind for me is The Big Bang Theory. I think that, I don't think it's like the best show ever made, but I see that show get trashed like crazy. I just don't get why, that's like the one, that's like one of the most popular ones to hate on. It's like really popular to hate on Big Bang, but I personally like that show a lot. I think it has a lot of great scenes. And I think also a lot of people love to hate on shows with laugh tracks. It's like becoming popular now is just hating on the shows with the laugh tracks. And these critics coming around with that take, and I gotta disagree. I think those are really overhated. And what you said about Grays, I'm not really a big fan of Grays, but definitely those long running shows here. Um, I've seen a lot of hate for those as well. I think those definitely get overhated as well. But those would be my big three things that I think are overhated on uh, right now. Next here is, how do you balance videos you want to make versus videos your viewers want you to make versus videos that get a lot of views? How do you decide which is more important than the others? So for this here, I try and do a combination of all three. I try and take into account what I want to do, what the viewers want, and something that's going to get a lot of views. But sometimes that's very difficult. Of course, an ideal scenario that would be what I would want to do. Of course, it's got to be something that I want to do or is going to be passionate about, because if I'm not putting in 100% of my effort, it's not going to turn out that well. But I also love hearing what you guys have to say. You guys spark ideas and give me suggestions, and some of the best things that happen to the channel, some of those videos. And videos that get a lot of views, stuff that I find online, usually if you put like compilations and clips together, those are something that always gets views. But those things are always run the risk of copyright or any other problems like that. So those, I try and steer clear from those as much as I can, even though I know those get a lot of views. But yeah, so I think my best answer to you is I try and balance all three. I try and come out with these different series and playlists that you guys can go through. Like I said, the tier list or the TV series reviews or the season reviews. I try and break it up so that you guys, if someone likes a certain series, you can watch through all of them. And I just like having that structure of, of doing like certain series here on the channel. So I guess that's the best answer that I can give for that question for you. What are the main things you look for in deciding what shows to watch? Certain things about the show, or mostly based off recommendations? So mainly for me, I usually try and look at the ratings, not like the viewership, but mainly like how it's perceived on IMDb. Even though I said I don't really like using Rotten Tomatoes, but sometimes I'll look at that as well. If IMDb doesn't have enough ratings in yet, because if I see a show is like a 5 out of 10, I'm just not going to watch it. Um, just because I just know it's going to be bad. But another thing I really look at is the description. Uh, a medical show. Like I said, I don't really like medical shows, but a medical show is like an 8.5 out of 10. I'm probably still not going to watch it, because it's just not my thing. I'm not really big into that type of genre. But if you give me something that's like a 6.5 out of 10, it's like an anti-hero crime drama, then I'll probably still watch that, because that's something that, even if it's not as good as something like a Breaking Bad or a Dexter or Sons of Anarchy, that is still something that, is still going to hook me and still going to grab me, because I really like that sort of topic. So that would be my assumption, or kind of what I think about certain shows. But I also go off recommendations as well. There's some YouTubers, that I trust on stuff that I'll watch, and if they recommend something, I'll definitely check it out. Or my friends, I trust their opinion a lot with stuff. So if they say something's really good, I definitely want to check it out. So that's mainly what I would say. Um, I rarely ever go into a show blind, like without looking at any of the ratings, because I just don't want to take that chance. Get my excitement all up just to realize it's going to be bad, and when I could have just looked at it ahead of time and known it was going to be bad. So that's kind of my answer there for that one. Do you have any thoughts on what happened with the PA who was killed on the set of Law and Order Organized Crime? Very sad story that deserves more attention. Yeah, I actually had no clue that this even happened until you mentioned it. That's actually really crazy that this guy was, or this person was killed on set here. Um, you know, uh, this has happened in movies a ton where, accidents happen on set here, and it's just crazy to see. Um, that's a really sad story, man. All I can really say is that thoughts and prayers go out to the family of the victim here. Having something like that happen is very sad, and you do not want to see in the industry. Last question that you have here, I will also address something else after this. If you consider them TV, uh, do you watch any sports? I always like watching the Olympics each season with my dad. So I kind of consider sports its own separate thing, just because when I'm talking about like TV, I'm talking about like mainly shows and not sports or the news or anything like that. I think that's like its own separate thing, or even game shows. I kind of consider its own separate thing. Um, so I kind of have those all in different categories here. I don't really consider that, like, when I say sports, I consider that in the sports, not like as a TV show. But so I don't really consider them like they're kind of TV, but they're not like the TV that I usually like talking about here on the channel. I like talking about TV shows or series. So that's kind of my take on that. And then I also know you asked another question here about my channel. If you want the answer to that, it's going to be actually on my Patreon. I made a post about that. So definitely check that out if you're looking to see what happened there with that other question here. So yeah, let's move into the next question here. Do you watch a lot of movies? What are some of your favorites? Um, So for movies here, I do watch some, but I'm not a huge movie buff. I'm definitely more of a TV guy. I find it much better for me. I connect more with shows than I do movies, just because I like character development. I like being able to connect more with the characters. I think movies for me, I always had the problem with movies where the first like 30 to 40 minutes most of the time is boring, and then the last act, is it's usually really good, but I'm just not really that invested in the characters or the story because it's only been on for like an hour. So um, that's kind of my take on movies. I do like a lot of movies. You asked as well, what are some of my favorites? So, I have a lot of favorites. I think like The Godfather is probably like the best movie ever made. That is a fantastic movie. But some of my best experiences with movies are at the theaters, whether it was like Infinity War or Endgame. Those were always like probably some of my best movie experiences, just because of how hyped up the theater was and going with all my friends. I also really like, a lot of comedy movies. Will Ferrell, Adam Sandler movies. They're not the greatest of all time movies, but I love like Step Brothers or like Happy Gilmore. Those were some of my favorites growing up here from those guys. So those would be some of my favorite movies here. Like I said, I'm not a huge movie buff here. I'm definitely someone who's I've probably only seen maybe 200, 300 movies in my entire life. Most people, I would say, easily have more than me. Um, I just really connect with shows more. They are more my style. But that kind of answers your question about movies. The last movie that I saw was the new Scream movie from this year. But one movie I have been thinking about seeing is Top Gun Maverick. I've heard a lot of great things about that. So that might be something I check out later this year. One day, are you reviewing The Sopranos? And yes, I am. I don't know when I'll get around to it. It might reach the polls here soon when I ask you guys what TV series review you want to see. But yeah, Sopranos, definitely want to get into it. I actually finished the whole series. I watched the first two seasons in 2021, and then I put it off for a while, and I watched the last four in 2022, and I really liked it. Sopranos is elite tier for me. I really like The Sopranos. You know, I will definitely be getting around to it eventually. Definitely before the end of the year. Also, I have the Sopranos characters tier list. So if you need something to watch for the Sopranos, that's kind of the only thing I have on my channel right now. But hopefully you enjoy that, and we will be getting around to it very shortly here. All right, we're getting down to the final few questions here. If you guys have anything to say, definitely leave it in the chat. We haven't gotten any chat so far for the live stream, so definitely feel free to let your opinion be heard or ask me anything. So these next couple ones are mines related. So we have in mines, who do you think firebombed the drug house, and do you think Easy would kill his brother over that? So my friend kind of spoiled what he thinks, but I think it is also going to be Angel as well. We could see at the end of season 4 here the tension between Angel and Easy, and Angel not wanting to have the drug trade here. I think that he is definitely behind the firebombing of the warehouse here. So that would be my best guess here. And do you think Easy would kill Angel over that? I don't think that's going to be what he's going to kill him over, but I could see something down the line where he's got to make a decision, club or brother. brother for brother, and he could do something like that. It would be insane. I think Angel's been on edge all season. For season 4, we were on edge if he was going to get killed or not. So we'll see in season 5 what happens there. He also asked, "What do you predict will happen to Creeper after taking the fall?" And I think that he is going to become the Otto Delaney of the Mayans. So if you've seen Sons of Anarchy, Otto is the guy who, for the entire series, is the guy in jail for Sons of Anarchy. He's like, again, their guy inside. He can get them connections, and beefs on the outside translate to beef on the inside. Like, for example, in season 2, when SOA was having beef with the AB, Otto in jail was having beef with the AB. Um, so I definitely feel like he is going to be the Otto Delaney. So he's going to be the guy that's going to stay in prison. He's still going to connect with the mines. Like, I don't think they're going to write him off. He might not be in every episode now, but I think like maybe 2 or 3 episodes a season, they're going to have someone visiting Creeper and talking about, get a message to someone, or Creeper telling them that he has a message for them. So that is my thoughts here. And the last question that I have here prepared, thank you guys again for asking all the questions here for the 1,000 subscribers, but is how do you prepare for your videos? So for me, preparation wise, I usually like writing down a list of notes here, but I never ever read off of a script. The reason I don't ever do that is because I feel like that's just boring and bland. And it's not authentic. It's not me. I might not sound as professional, but I try and be as real and 100% authentic as I can. I usually write something down so I don't forget anything. But once I look at it, I just go straight off. I say exactly what I'm doing right now, not planned, not word for word, line for line. That's how I prepare for my videos. I like just taking my notes and then going off kind of what's in my head when what comes out. So yeah, that's basically going to do it here for all the questions. Like I said, thank you again for anyone who's asked any questions here. And again, thank you guys for 1,000 subscribers here. Like I said, if you didn't get a chance to ask anything, um, definitely leave it in the chat, in the comment section below. I will definitely be looking at that. And hopefully you guys like some of the new videos coming out in the future here. Better Call Saul live stream coming on Monday here. Going to be a great time there for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream, and hopefully you guys can look back on some of these for future videos on my channel, get inspiration or anything like that. So yeah, that's gonna do it here. Thank you guys again. Like I said, you guys are so supportive and help me out on my channel so much here. So yeah, that's gonna do it. Take care, everyone. Peace out.